Greetings. So, this is not a slam on any veterans or anybody currently serving, because it's not that I have disrespect for the military, I just don't think it's a good option. This is a slam, or a critique, I should say, of advice Aaron Clarey gives to guys who regularly pay him. Guys that he doesn't see any realistic option, he tells them to join the military. And I think that's a horrible thing to tell a young man. And sometimes I wonder if Aaron's just telling these kids this because he frankly doesn't care if they die in a meaningless war. Because, he always acts like he's an asshole and he can't stand humanity. I love his content, let's be real, but he acts like a human fucking hemorrhoid. Like that hemorrhoid Kyle had from South Park. That's what he reminds me of sometimes. Just a loud, screaming hemorrhoid. But the point of it is that, is there a better way? This is OTR Ogre and Corgi, and I want to talk about better options than joining the military. Alright, so, for one thing, why not just pick up a trade? There's a lot of money to get you into a trade. There's a lot of trades where they'll give you room and board, and all that crap. The same thing the military offers, room and board, to help get you into a trade. Now, if you don't want to do a trade initially, you get out of high school, how about, just get a van, live as cheap as possible. Maybe you live with some bros. You all live cheap. Get a van. So it's always a good backup plan is a van. And get a gym membership so you always got showers. And then maybe if you want to learn to code or something, work a night watchman job. Straight up stole that from Clarey. It's a great idea, by the way. Get your night watchman job and then learn your online courses at night. And then just sleep in the van during the day. Use the gym to shower. Work out and shower. Save your money like a god. And the other thing is like sometimes with trucking, for instance, they don't let you do OTR over the road. They'll let you do over the road, but they won't let you do interstate until you turn 21. At least I think that's the way it still is. But you can do day cab and in the state, so you could be driving a sleeper unit from one side of the state to the other. And basically you could be doing that for the first few years. And why I recommend that is if you've got basically a home on wheels, dude, seriously, that's going to be a Mexican scramble later. And, you got power, everything, climate control, got the TV, I got the video games, if I decide to set them up, usually it's just the DS, I need to get a Switch. But the point of it is that, you can make real money out here. And if you're not paying rent, which in a big city, so you go and find a big city and work in it, and then basically you're not paying rent there, so you're making good money. You're saving anywhere from $18,500 a year to $24,000 a year, and then don't buy a flashy car, buy a Dave Ramsey special and just a good little town car to get around when you're around, back in the terminal, and you're saving like $6,000 there. Reduction in gas usage because you're not commuting, that's going to be at least $2,000-$3,000 a year, because vehicles, commuting eats a lot of fucking fuel plus your time too. Then you got to think about it from the perspective of all the things you added up, and it ends up being about $30,000 to $32,000 a year. And I need to do a number of videos to finish that series. But and then you put on another $20,000 to $30,000 you would have made anyways, and you got profit at the end of the year. You've got at least 30, but you should have around 40 to 60 grand. And if you work in a state that has no state income tax, oh yeah, you definitely got that. I mean, hell, some companies actually give you per diem. Yeah, they got rid of that for a while, but I got per diem, and I'm still a company driver. Now, eventually, I'm going to build my own truck, so I'll guaranteeably have problems having per diem. But the point of it is that you can do far better working a trade, getting some online coding thing, even just living in a van and doing a job than joining the fucking military. Because the military, some idiot in D.C., the commander-in-chief, the jokers that we've had for the last 30 years at least, let's go back all the way to the original Bush era. I mean, it's questionable how great really was Reagan. I'm not going to get into an argument about that because I was born in 1980, so I only sort of remember the guy. But the point of it is that these fucking idiots that run this country have no problem sending you off to die for shit they don't even really care about. And shit that most Americans don't care about. And back in the day, I'll admit, the military was a great option. A lot of guys were on a bad road because, I don't know, maybe no-fault divorce ruined the households, and then single motherhood and shit, and these boys are out there causing a ruckus, and then they get before a judge, and the judge tells them, hey, you can either go to prison or you can go to the military. And they're like, well, I guess this is a better option than fucking getting butt raped, you know? Think about that one, too. So your option is getting raped or going and potentially dying in the military. But, you know, back then, and when there was a real military pension and shit, you know, because they cut that back, I think, under Obama. And then what do you get? What do you get now? You get a fair paycheck? Not really. You're getting shot at. You might get blown up, or hell, a grenade or a rocket, you know, in some foreign country for some bullshit that has nothing to do with you. What do you get for that? Maybe some crappy VA healthcare? Yeah, they made it a little better in the last few years, but it's still shit. And the point of it is that if you're a young man, you got all those years ahead of you. So some asshole like Aaron Clarey, and I like his content, I really do. I think he's an entertaining guy. He gets some things right and he gets some things wrong. But telling a lot of young men, hey, go join an organization that doesn't give a shit if you're dead or alive. In fact, the government would prefer that you die, because then they don't have to pay you. If you die, you know, after you get out of the military, a suicide or some other shit, or you can't manage to live, it's cheaper for them in the long run. Because if you're all fucked up and you're non-productive, you're not useful to them anymore. And do you really want to be in a situation where you're basically viewed as long as you're productive? That's not very red pill, is it? Now, am I saying absolutely don't join the military? No. If you want to join the military, you do you. But realize you could do the trades, you could drive truck, you know, there's several different ways you could make money. You just got to first get that rent low, live with a bunch of people, live in a van, get a gym membership, reduce your cost of living. You know, that'll give you options in life. But I just think it's kind of twisted for a guy to constantly tell young men to join a military that he didn't even want to join back in the day. He was above doing all that shit. He had better plans for life. So, yeah. I like Aaron Clarey's work, but big middle finger to him on his opinion about the military. So, this is OTR Ogre and Corgi, and this is just my thoughts. You gotta value you, because no one else values you like you. Take it easy.